Welcome to The Explainer. You know, we talk about our rights all the time, but have you ever really stopped to think about it? Where do they actually come from? Is it something you're just born with, or does someone like a government give them to you? Today, we are diving deep into that huge question, a question that really shapes our entire society.
Right, so this is the heart of it all. Are rights something fundamental to who we are, or are they a construct, something created for us? It's a massive debate. But before we can even begin to tackle that, we've got to be on the same page about what we even mean by the word right.
Okay, so based on the source material we're digging into, a right isn't just something you want. Think of it more like a claim you make, a claim to be able to grow and develop yourself, that pretty much everyone else in society agrees you should have. It's kind of like a social handshake, an agreement.
So, let's jump into the first major answer in this whole debate. This idea, which was pushed by some really big names like John Locke and Rousseau, suggests that the source of our rights is, well, nature itself.
The whole idea behind natural rights is that you are literally born with them. They're just a part of being a human being. They existed way before any governments or laws came along. And in this view, the government's only real job is to be a kind of bodyguard for the rights you already have. It doesn't give them to you, it just protects them.
But, not everyone was sold on this. Critics started asking questions. Like, what does natural even mean here? It's a bit fuzzy, right? And hey, if we have natural rights, does that mean we also have natural duties? And what are those? The biggest knock, though, was this. In a so-called state of nature, without any rules, the reality is that the strongest person wins. It's not about rights, it's about power. Might makes right, as they say. Okay, so that pushback leads us directly to the other side of the coin. This is the complete counter-argument to natural rights, one that puts the law and the state right at the center of the picture.
And here it is, the total opposite point of view. This theory says rights don't come from nature at all. They come from the state. They're created by laws, they're enforced by the police and the courts, and here's the kicker, they can be changed or even taken away by new laws. From this perspective, talking about rights without a legal system to back them up is really just wishful thinking.
And of course, this idea got its own share of serious pushback. People asked, wait a minute, does the state really just invent rights out of thin air, or does it just recognize and write down the rights we already believe we have? And think about this. If the government can make claims against its citizens, why can't citizens make claims against the government? The core argument here is that our rights come from a deeper place, our shared sense of what's right and wrong, not just because a law tells us so.
And this table just lays out the conflict perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you have natural rights. They come from within us. They're part of our nature, and the state is just a guardian. On the other side, you've got legal rights. They come from the outside, created by the state, which has all the power to grant and enforce them. It's the ultimate showdown, inside job versus outside job.
But hold on, the story doesn't end there. It's not just a two-sided fight. Other thinkers came along and said, hey, maybe you're both missing something. They added some new angles to this whole conversation.
And here are three other really interesting ways to look at this. The historical view says rights aren't born or made, they grow over time, like a path that gets worn into the ground from centuries of custom. Then there's the idealistic view, which sees rights as a kind of moral code, something that exists to help us all become better people. And finally, you've got the social welfare view, which is super practical. It just says rights are tools that we use to get the best results for the most people.
Whew. Okay, so we've looked at rights coming from nature, from the law, from history, from morality, and even from just what works best for society. After spinning through all these different ideas, where does that actually leave us? What's the answer? This table is just perfect. It puts everything we've talked about into one simple, clear picture. You can see all 5 theories lined up, each with its own source and its own big idea. The whole debate, from being born with rights to creating them for the common good, is laid out right here.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, the sources we've been analyzing suggest that while all these theories have something to offer, a couple of them seem to really hit the nail on the head for how our rights actually work today. The idea that they've evolved through our traditions, and the idea that, at the end of the day, they're supposed to be tools for building a better society for all of us.
And that really brings us to one last really important thought. If rights aren't just one simple thing, if they can be seen as natural or legal or historical or moral, then this whole debate isn't just about the past. It's about right now and about our future. Which leaves us with a really big question to chew on. If rights can be defined in so many ways, who gets to decide what our rights will be tomorrow?